Good morning. After decades of a political and bureaucratic chokehold on India's education system, which is why it is such a mess right now, we finally got some sweeping reforms yesterday. The reforms have been a long time in coming, and the good news is that they finally got delivered yesterday. And before we come to the actual reforms itself, since India spends a very small proportion of its GDP, about 3% or so, on education, the government has promised to double that over the next decade. Essentially, if you don't have more money, none of the reforms that the government has talked about are going to amount to anything. That doubling of education expenditure is very critical. The main components or the main aspects of what has been allowed is that there has been a lot more flexibility that has been allowed in terms of the language of instruction. You can even opt out of college, and then you can go back over a period of time. So it's become a lot more flexible. Students in school are going to necessarily have one vocational topic, one vocational subject in higher school. And the most important, board exams are no longer going to be about learning by rote. They're going to be about trying to figure out the actual knowledge or the learning or the skills of the person being tested. Over-regulation has killed India's education over the last 70 years, and this policy promises to change that. In fact, as far as higher education is concerned, the most important part about NEP 2020 is that it promises to give universities the freedom so they can, for example, put in a lot more self-disclosure, so which means that there will be no UGC inspections, there will be multidisciplinary education. So now you can be learning science and yet be taking a couple of courses in economics. You can have majors and minors. So essentially it's going to be a lot more like a global education system. There'll be a lot more flexibility than you ever had in the past. And as we said before, the main thing is that the UGC's chokehold, the AICTE's chokehold on the universities will go away. The fact that the Delhi University Teachers Association has been very quick to condemn the policy, in fact, probably tells you just how reformist it is. Of course, as we've seen before in a host of policies, making the policy itself is relatively easy. Of course, this one took a long time, but even so, making the policy is relatively easy. Implementing it is a real challenge. So meaningful vocational education, for example, will mean a big step up in education budgets. Now, education budgets have always been, very constrained. So if the government is not able to supply enough, not able to give enough money to schools, it is unlikely that they will be able to provide any kind of meaningful vocational education. In fact, it's not just vocational education. You look at normal education, look at that graphic on your screen right now. It's basically what the ASAR studies have been showing us all over every year for God knows how many years now. So even in class 8, for example, even today, 30% of children can't read a class 2 text. So you're in class 8 and 30% of the kids can't read a class 2 text. 50% of the kids in class 8 can't do division. And in fact, as ASAR has told us in the past, this is really about the fact that in every class, in every section, there are about 5 or 6, there are children with 5 or 6 levels of learning. So somebody learning at the level of class 2, somebody learning at the level of class 3, at class 4. So really the teacher doesn't know where to pitch. So in a situation like this, you need a lot more teaching aids, probably a lot more computer-based training to allow the students to catch up at their own pace. In fact, the fact that the NEP 2020 has decided to retain the UP's no detention policy till the 8th class is actually a bad idea, because what it does is it ensures that students get promoted to classes way above where they should have been, and that's what causes the problem, because then it slows down the rest of the class. So there are a lot of teething troubles out there which need to be sorted out, and but the main thing we've been advocating in Financial Express for a very long time is that the powers of the UGC and the AICTE need to go away, and instead you need to have a lot lighter regulation, a lot more autonomy for universities and colleges. TV Mohandas Pai and Nisha Hola have a piece on this on our Reddit page. They call it the new dawn for India's education, and they bring out the points or the action areas where the government still needs to move. Our lead editorial on this is welcoming but cautious. As we said, there's been a lot of talk of autonomy in the past for these higher educational institutions, whether it's the IIMs or the IITs or Delhi University, and despite that, nothing has really happened. I mean, just a week ago, the UGC was fighting with the IIMs over the one-year master's program that they were offering here. AICTE, in fact, derecognized a 3-year program offered by MDI in Gurgaon. Now, MDI in Gurgaon is a fairly well-known MBA institution, and the AICTE just said that it didn't come up to its criteria. Till a few weeks ago, till the finance minister made an announcement, even online education was something that most universities in India were not allowed to offer. So we had a situation where Coursera offers the courses of top US universities, but Indian universities can't do the same thing. So this is why we are saying that talking about the policy or coming out with the policy is very, very good, but now India has to implement it. In fact, we've seen what happened in school education. As far as university education is concerned, despite the AICTE and the UGC and all these people controlling curriculum and all manner of things, the fact of the matter is that India has a gross enrollment ratio of around half that of China. 30% of our kids go to college. In the case of China, it's 60% in the appropriate age bracket. In fact, we have no Indian university among the top 300 or 400. China has many. So we've slipped a lot, and this is what we're trying to fix. There are still, of course, some little devils out there which need to be ironed out. For example, it doesn't make sense why a fee cap has been put. Then this whole issue of graded autonomy is a bit of a problem, because graded autonomy means the UGC has a little bit of a toehold. So while you need to put in standards for organizations, I think those standards need to be a lot more flexible, they need to be a lot more modern, and they need to be a lot more transparent. Moving on, in other news, Maruti has made its first ever loss since it listed in India 17 years ago. Bharti Airtel made a loss of around 16,000 crore rupees, primarily because of the obligations under the AGR, so they had to do a lot more provisioning. Indigo too had suffered the worst loss in 5 years. Thank you. Have a great day.